Oh my God! Reelers, it is finally here, Avengers Endgame. When you look back at Infinity War and you think to yourself, how are Marvel going to top this? They just threw down the Infinity Gauntlet, said, hold my beer, watch this. All right, I'm just going to specify it right now. This is a no spoilers, a spoiler-free film review. I do not want to give anything away at all that's going to spoil the experience for anyone, because for Marvel fans, this is going to be probably the best movie-going experience you're going to have. The last thing I want to do is ruin that for anyone. But down the line, there is so much to talk about with this film, so I'm probably going to do some kind of like spoiler review in a few weeks. Now, I am a big superhero movie fan, so I know that this was definitely my favourite cinematic experience ever. I mean, you've got over 10 years worth of stories, 20 odd films, all aligning for this one storyline. Keep watching for the rusty reels, no spoilers, deal with the real film review on Avengers Endgame. Hey Reelers, Rob Harris back again talking about another film review, and this time it is on the long-awaited Avengers Endgame. I, like many of you, have been waiting for this film for so fucking long. Many of you will know, but I'm going to just spell it out for you anyway. Avengers Endgame is a sequel to Avengers Infinity War. What we saw in that film is Thanos is gathering the Infinity Stones and he's taking the fight to the Avengers. What happens in the end is that the snap takes place and the Avengers lose. And this results in half of all living creatures in the universe just ceasing to exist. So the basic synopsis, and what we also know from the trailers, is in Avengers Endgame, the Avengers and many people are struggling to cope with life following the events of the snap. And in this story, they develop a plan to take on Thanos and somehow bring everyone back. That is really all I can say and what we have been teased already. But there is really so much more to this film than what the trailers portray. They have done a very good job at keeping a very good curtain of vagueness covering the whole storyline. We really do not have any idea what is taking place. I, like many people, have developed a theory of what could happen, and I tell you what, I was right for about the first half hour to an hour, but I am telling you there is absolutely no way, even if you think you have the correct plotline in your head and you figured it out, I'm telling you there is no way that you can foresee what is happening in this film, unless of course you checked out those spoilers online. So really, the only thing I could talk about is how this film just hits you emotionally. I mean, normally I talk about things like the cinematography and the direction and the character performances and everything, and the use of CGI and whether it was good or bad. And right off the bat, Endgame is delivering on all these fronts. They're not suddenly going to drop the ball on the final film of the whole series. I mean, you've got the Russo brothers, you've got Kevin Feige, Jon Favreau, all coming back for this film. They're all back, they're all involved, and they are continuing that high level of continuity for the film. And now the main actors, they've been playing these roles for a very long time. I mean, you've got Robert Downey Jr., like more than 10 years playing Tony Stark. But in this film, they are delivering their most emotional and thoughtful performances of the entire lot. Really, the thing to credit this film is the story and the characters. And seriously, the film is not about, oh, everyone's gone now, so let's go get Thanos, it's Thanos killing time. No. Everyone has lost something, everyone has lost people, and it's great to see the characters struggle and deal with that. Tragic, but still great to watch. Now, Infinity War was very Thanos filmed. It was his story, it was his film, it was his victory. This film has now shifted focus back onto the Avengers. It's now their story, it's their comeback. I just can't get over how good this film was, guys. I am just so fucking satisfied. I know I seem angry, but I am just I'm still reeling from watching it last night. Now, Endgame doesn't have as much toing and froing like it did in Infinity War. It does, but it doesn't. Well, it didn't feel like it anyway. They are moving around a little bit, and that's happening a lot in Infinity War with so many characters and places and locations and plot lines, but this actually feels a little less busy. So probably you could say, because there's a snap-induced, reduced Avengers team, this is probably why there isn't so much jumping around in focus, because there's only half the amount of people. Too soon? But the way it is like the preceding film is it's incredibly easy watching, and you can follow the plot effortlessly. Now, given the way the world is following the snap and all the gloomy situations everyone is finding themselves in, the laughs in this film are so plentiful. It is really still keeping that fun and enjoyment in all the films. Even in the sad moments, they're able to make some kind of like reality with it, but at the same time make it funny and not so serious, because it is quite serious, but they just can't keep hitting that home to you all the time. They've got to make it a little bit lighter and breezy. But then again, there are the really sad moments as well that make you go, oh damn. And then it brings you back with a really exciting moment when you're like, oh yes! They are not pulling any punches. This is really the most perfect ending to the Infinity Saga that you could have hoped for. At least I know I could have hoped for. And it's such a shame that I can't risk saying anything more as a result of potentially giving some of the plot away. But all I can say is, as indescribable as this film review kind of is, this film is also in itself indescribably perfect. Especially the last act. If you just think of the year of storyboards, of late days working, and all the draft scripts, the ideas, the filming, the trailer misdirection, everything that has gone into the collective films all towards this one point. This film really is for the fans. And this is what the actors and the makers have been stressing through the entire press tour. Now, if you've seen a couple of the MCU films and you're like, oh, I kind of know that guy and this happened and that happened and whatever, and you know, oh, Endgame, oh yeah, that's a pretty big film. Yeah, we'll go see it this weekend. Then you're probably going to walk out and be thinking, yeah, it was a good film, it was decent, yeah. But it's the fans who have stuck with the films for 11 years, who have seen all the films, who remember them fondly, who know the characters and have invested something towards this film. Yeah, there have been good points, but there have been some not good points in the MCU as well. I swear to you, this film will not disappoint. And it brings everything, I mean everything, together for a close. So I'm rating and reviewing this film, but I'm not really rating just this film. I'm rating everything. I'm kind of talking about the whole storyline. Like I was saying, all these films have accumulated to this one point, and you've got to look at this film in how it plays to the whole MCU. I'm talking phase 1, phase 2 and 3, everything that has brought you to this moment, and just how perfectly it wraps things up. It really is something magical, and it really is an ending. And this really isn't a spoiler, but there are no after credit scenes. There's a nice title sequence at the end which you should appreciate and stick around for, but when the white text starts scrolling, you can leave. It really is to drive home the emphasis of that this film really is an ending. I mean, I feel like Endgame is a film where you could watch it, never see an MCU or a Marvel film again, and you'd be absolutely happy with that. At least not watching anything beyond phase 3. Longtime MCU producer Kevin Feige has publicly stated that Spider-Man Far From Home, which comes out later this year, is actually going to be the last installment of phase 3. And given the way Endgame just feels like such a perfect ending, I do have a real suspicion that Far From Home is actually going to be based before Infinity War. I tell you what, for a 3-hour film, I was fixed to the screen. I looked at my watch like twice, and that's only because I kind of thought to myself, holy crap, this feels like it's starting to get into the final act now. How long has it been? And I don't want this to end. I just didn't want the film to be over. Oh, and when is there a chance for you to go to the bathroom during this 3-hour film? I'm going to tell you now. There isn't one! There is no bathroom. You cannot miss a single second of this film. I feel like every frame is so significant that if you pop to the loo for a few minutes, you're going to miss something like vital or funny or somewhat intricate into the plot, or a really nice moment or a really sad moment. I just feel like you cannot risk to leave and you're going to regret buying that extra large drink. And the films you need to watch before you go and see Endgame, there's Infinity War, there's all of them. I mean, I could tell you the ones to watch that tie in the best with the plotline, but then I'm most likely going to be at least heavily hinting instead of spoiling for you potentially what's going to happen based on a lot of the theories going around as to the plot. Like I was saying, this film really is for the fans. So if you've seen the MCU films, if you know and love the characters, if you're invested in this film, then you're going to be fine. I really do feel like I can't say all I want to say about this film, but it really is leaving such a legacy. I guess it just kind of gives me the next couple of weeks to really ponder this for my spoiler review, and then I can really get into like everything. This is absolutely getting a 5 reels from me, no doubt in my mind. Should I make a special coveted 6th reel? No, the whole point is to have a scale on which to measure all films. I'm doing it anyway. Boom, 6th reel. It's early days still, but have you seen Avengers Endgame yet? Do you agree with what I've said? Make sure that you comment below on the deal with the reel. If you enjoyed this review, make sure that you give it a like, and if you want to see other of my content, my other videos, head on over to Rusty Reels where you can check out more there. Or maybe just give one of these ones a watch. Be sure to subscribe to my channel as well, and click the bell so that you know when future videos are published. Thanks so much for watching everyone, as always, and in the meantime, just be real.